I'm never going to do anything to hurt our farmers. The One Big Beautiful Bill will also be an incredible victory for American farmers, another group that we did great with, especially family farmers.
Never thought I was going to lose this much money, this fast.
Jim is a Republican who voted for Donald Trump 3 times.
How do you feel about your vote for Donald Trump now?
Well, I feel like perhaps I should have considered some other options.
I did a 90-day pause for the people that didn't retaliate, because I told them if you retaliate, we're going to double it. And that's what I did with China, because they did retaliate.
We are very concerned about the current outlook. As a soybean farmer, we are dependent on trade. Right at 50% of the soybeans produced in the United States are exported. China takes more of our soybeans than all other foreign customers combined. So they're a major part of our market, and this trade war is very concerning to us right now.
Tell us.
Now, I've never been as worried as I am now about whether or not my kids and grandkids will be able to carry on.
You said, I love you, Mr. Trump. I need to see the fruit of your love.
We must talk about this. We have to talk about the status of the farmers. Yep, the farmers. That overwhelmingly, the white farmers that overwhelmingly voted for Trump. Now, the farmers are asking for welfare from the government because a lot of them are losing their farms because the subsidies that they get from the government, they can't afford the farms without the subsidies in many cases.
Hello guys, welcome back again to another episode, and today I want to talk about the white farmers. White farmers are raged and begging for help from black people like never before. They are stranded, they are crying out and calling everyone for help, you know, from the government to the media and to every people they once looked down upon. You know, the same folks who once believed they were untouchable are now facing the same reality they used to ignore because their farms are falling, their debts are rising, and the government that used to back them up has gone silent. For decades, they were the pride of the rural America. But now, they are crying on TV, posting videos online, and asking for donation just to survive the next harvest. That's an irony. This is not the America that they thought they'd live in. And this time, no one's rushing to save them. Even the black people are just minding their black business. No one is ready to go save them. So guys, I want us to watch this clip, then come back and talk about the fall of the untouchable farmers. And of course, if you're watching this video for the first time, please subscribe on this channel and hit that button so that you'll be notified anytime we drop a video. You become the first person to be notified that we just dropped a new video for you to watch and comment. So let's watch this video, guys, then come back and have a talk about this video.
Well, thanks to the big orange gremlin looking motherfucker, multiple farms in Texas just shut down overnight. Why? Because ICE raids made nearly 100% of the workforce completely vanish. People ran, got detained, or flat out got scared to death and never came back. Dairy farms are in panic mode right now. Cows gotta be milked every 8 hours. And guess what? Nobody's showing up to milk these fuckers, folks. This isn't some Texas problem either. This is happening across the entire nation. ICE isn't just out here enforcing some bullshit laws. They are actively crippling our food systems with fear and chaos. You wanna talk about consequences? This ain't just about politics anymore, y'all. It's about what's on your table, what's in your fridge, or what's about to be missing from your fucking store. These Nimrods aren't saving America. They're starving it.
I'm never going to do anything to hurt our farmers. The One Big Beautiful Bill will also be an incredible victory for American farmers, another group that we did great with, especially family farmers.
We're just absolutely fucked as farmers, guys. Everything is so fucked, and I do not see anybody surviving this farm crisis that we're in. Guys, look, one of the best splorn crops that I have ever raised in my life. And because of the tariffs, China will not fucking buy it. And they are the only country in the world other than Well, they are the only country in the world that buys splorn. And so now I'm literally just chopping it, blowing it on the fucking ground because it's fucking useless. It's valueless. There's nothing I can fucking do to it. I am going to need government assistance to make it through this fucking crisis until these tariffs end. Look, I've never raised a splorn crop like this, guys. And this is just fucking heartbreaking to me. I don't know how I'm gonna survive. You know, Trump said he fucking loved us farmers, and here I am just blowing my splorn crop all over the ground. Hopefully he works a deal out where Antarctica and Mars will start buying this splorn and save the farmers. I'm sorry, splorn crop, but you're fucked.
Right now, we're in a very dire situation. September's upon us, harvest is starting in the deep south, and we have 0 bushels of soybeans on the books to be sold to China for this current crop that's about to come out of the field. Historically, over the last 5 years, about a third of soybean sales to China would be booked. China amounts to 25% of our total U.S. soybean crop. So that would be 8 or 9% of the whole U.S. crop would normally be on the books with China right now, and we have 0. That is alarming. The farm economy as a whole is struggling. Inflation has caused our cost of production to rise drastically on every front. Commodity prices, in particular soybeans, are down about 50% from where they were 3 years ago. And our numbers are deeply in the red. And we send this letter to President Trump because we've been talking for months about needing to have sales in place, a deal in place, a phase 2 type agreement that has purchase commitments along with a level playing field on trade with no tariffs. And we haven't had anything happen, unfortunately. And our appeal to President Trump and his administration is make soybeans a priority in any trade negotiations that are taking place. Soybeans are the #1 agriculture export to China. And in the last trade war, it was 71% of the losses that we had as American farmers. And they're critical.
Yeah, so if we look at, and we're going to divide. So I'll stay with grain and oilseeds because that's what I do day to day. But I just have to say one thing about livestock. For livestock folks, we're in good world for them right now. So I'd love to be able to have as good a world that they're having in GNO, but we just don't. And so there's just so many things, and it's really a supply story this year. When you think about across the globe, we haven't had a year where every country's almost on all 8 cylinders where we're getting full production. And that's where we are right now. It's also too a bit of a dichotomy in the US is that we're building corn stocks, but the world is not. Or it's just the opposite in soybeans, where the world's building soy stocks and we're not. And so it's a very weird world, but the fact is we just have so much supply in the world, that's just going to keep prices, really on the defensive.
Right now, we're in a very dire situation. September's upon us, harvest is starting in the deep south, and we have 0 bushels of soybeans on the books to be sold to China for this current crop that's about to come out of the field.
This is what happens when a bunch of entitled, MAGA voting Americans stand on a box and push isolationist policy, like tariffs. You guys said that all the other countries will be affected by these tariffs, but we as Americans are untouchable. Let's isolate America. We don't need any other countries. Let's put America first. Well, the soybean farmers who overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump fucked around and found out that that just isn't the case for them. Most of their soybean crops are bought by China because America does not consume that many soybeans. They rely on China to buy the soybean crops. China earlier this year came out and said, ew, we don't want your soybean crops. You can sell them to someone else because we're going to go to Argentina to get ours. That's exactly what they did. And like you just heard the soybean farmer say, they have nothing on the books. They have nobody to buy their soybean crops and they are SOL for it. I don't know, maybe you should have put America first and grown corn. You should have switched to corn, I guess. You chose to grow soybeans, which just quite simply, I guess, is not putting America first. You should have chosen potatoes. If you wanted to go full isolationist and vote for a man who wanted to isolate us and, throw away our relationships with foreign nations, that's what you chose. And now no one wants to buy your crops that you grew knowing that they needed to be exported, yet voted for Trump anyways. Classic. My name is Mercedes Chandler. I don't feel bad for you guys. Give me a follow or you won't see my face again. Thank you. Goodbye.
Farmers are making a cry for help before it's too late. Countless farmers gathered to speak to representatives of Arkansas leaders to share the urgency.
Last year we sent around $12 billion, I think $14 billion worth of soybeans the year before. For the first time in 20 years, China's bought 0 soybeans and 0 new crop corn out of this country.
MAGA farmers seem to be facing a pressing reality. The policies they once supported and their trust in political decisions now appear to be directly reflecting on their livelihoods. Have you ever imagined that a decision from Washington combined with a reaction from Beijing could cause soybean prices to plummet, put families under financial strain, and even jeopardize the future of farming for the next generation? Let's take a closer look at what is truly happening to MAGA farmers, and whether the story might reveal something about the nature of the policies they once trusted. In recent years, it seems that the trade war between the US and China has created direct consequences that many ordinary people might not have anticipated, particularly for American soybean farmers. It appears that China, in response to the high tariffs imposed by the US, decided to halt imports of American soybeans. This policy seems to be not only an economic measure, but also a political move, aimed at putting pressure on Washington. In this context, American farmers suddenly found their livelihoods threatened. Perhaps the most notable point is the scale of dependence on the Chinese market. Before the retaliatory measures were implemented, around 60% of Iowa's soybean production, the largest production hub in the US, was typically exported to China. This market seems to have been an essential pillar for the American agricultural industry, and when it was closed, the economic consequences became apparent. US soybean prices, according to recent reports, appear to have dropped significantly, from about $9 per bushel to nearly $7, directly pressuring farm profits. Many farms had to sell their crops at prices lower than production costs just to avoid spoilage. Some chose to store their harvest, but rising storage costs directly affected cash flow and financial planning. Perhaps even more concerning is that smaller farms or multi-generational farming families seem to face the risk of bankruptcy if no relief measures or new export opportunities emerge. The impact doesn't seem to stop at the economic level. This financial pressure appears to be spreading into family life, affecting educational plans, children's futures, and other long-term goals. Here are what people have to say about the whole situation. American farmers are now working farmers. Most are millionaires who voted for tax cuts. They are waiting for the Go VT handout Trump will give right before the 2026 midterm elections to keep them loyal.
I got to farm with my dad every day. It's a way of life. It's a wonderful way of life. And it's at risk. And it shouldn't be.
The impact of Trump's tariffs is being felt in the heartland.
Soybean farmers here are now suffering economically like they haven't in decades.
Right now we are harvesting soybeans in Marengo, Illinois. My family has been farming since 1846. I'm the 5th generation. We're a grain operation. We grow corn, soybeans. I am a product of the pioneers. It's history. You don't let that go. One of the best memories that I had was just my dad teaching me how to drive a tractor. I got to farm with my dad every day. It was pretty cool. How many people could do that? It's a way of life. It's a wonderful way of life. And it's at risk. And it shouldn't be. It's total bullshit. Human lives are at stake. It's stupid. The whole thing is stupid.
I'm very proud of him. He's done a great job. He's kind. He's very caring. He cares about other people. I didn't really want him to be a farmer. When my husband got sick, he asked if he could take over the farm. He said, "Mom, give me 3 years. Just give me 3 years." So that's what we did, and it's turned into 16 years.
Harvest is usually the best time of the year. It's literally the fruits of your labor. This is the time where we as farmers get to celebrate all of our hard work and that we get paid for our year's worth of work. And unfortunately, this one has a real bitter taste to it because the money is being spent right now in Argentina and being given to billionaires. Farming is hard enough as it is, dealing with Mother Nature, but this year especially is very challenging because of the tariffs that have been put upon us. Our cost of production has increased and our markets have dropped dramatically. And this is really putting a major strain on all farmers right now. If anybody who's not a farmer and they say, well, what do I care about what's happening with farmers? What does that matter? Well, in Illinois, 20% of all jobs revolve around agriculture. And when farmers have money, we spend it, and we spend it on really big high-ticket items like combines or tractors, all of whom are made in major Rust Belt areas. And those are really high-paying, good jobs, and that trickles down to the waitresses who get better tips, to our schools because people have more income, the schools get better funded. And right now, we're just in a major holding pattern because we have no income. The American people are hurting right now. The farmers are hurting right now. There is absolutely no reason for this.
Our grain prices are down. We have tariffs. We have a bumper crop. We don't have people to sell it to. China hasn't bought one of our beans. We don't have those markets anymore because of the tariffs.
I'm looking at the commodity prices, where they're at, which is how I get paid. I'm having a real difficult time trying to give a positive outlook for 2026. When President Obama was in office, we had a wonderful jolt of energy because we had an administration that said, we're going to have advanced biofuels power our country. And then Trump got in there and decided to have his trade wars again and everything else and to roll back all those environmental protections, and the ag economy started to tank. Joe Biden gets in there again. Hey, we're going to have advanced biofuels. We're going to have airline fuel that comes from corn-based ethanol. What happened? Prices went up again, up to an all-time high, right where they were. Trump gets back in there again. We're going to have a trade war, and boom, prices are tanking again.
President Trump is said to be considering a bailout of at least $10 billion for farmers. That may be too little too late.
We don't want a bailout. We want a market. Bailouts are Band-Aids. We aren't even made whole off of this. That's money that should be going towards senior citizens. That's money that should be going for the Affordable Care Act. That's money that should just be going to regular tax cuts for normal Americans and not billionaires. What he is doing is destroying our markets. And when those markets disappear, we're not going to get them back. We need to have a new policy. We need to have an ag policy that works for farmers again. And we know what works. We have to be able to make a living doing this. The years that we do the best are when our products are in demand. And our products, overwhelmingly for the history of this country, are in demand when we have a strong export market. And we have to keep those markets alive. We have to do that. And this administration isn't doing that. People came to this country for opportunity. Opportunity equals land. And we're giving that up. And it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. Part of the reason why the greatness of this nation is because we take care of people, and there's values of the family farm that need to be upheld. And it's good for America.
I'm just going to speak on experience. First-hand experience with these farmers in America who are being undermined by the Trump regime right now. Now, I know most of them are Republicans and they voted for Trump, so I have no sympathy for you. I have no sympathy for your farm going under. Who I do have sympathy for are the illegals that you hire, because farmers have to be the number one supplier of illegal slave work. Okay, I've seen what you guys house these illegal people in. I've seen how you keep them up. I've seen the decrepit housing that you put them in, and then you pay them pennies on the dollar. But yet you vote to have them all removed, and then you cry to Trump
when they come to your farms and remove them. So Trump says, let's take a step back. We're going to have to look at this now because, oh God, I can't have the illegals leaving who run the farms for the farmers. Okay, for pennies on the dollar. Look, I don't have no sympathy for you farmers. I don't. And I can grow my own food. So I don't need your fucking food. Okay? Plus, half your food don't even stay here in the United States. It's shipped out. So, you're not hurting my grocery bill. Okay? What you are hurting is human beings who you hire for pennies on the dollar and put them in decrepit housing. You should be ashamed for yourself. And this is what you voted for. So sit in it. And for those who don't do that, and for those who didn't vote for Trump because you knew what you were going to get, he fucked you the first time, he's fucking you the second time. You must really just like to get fucked. I don't know, by a man. But back to what I was saying, I digress. Got a little off topic there. But for those who did not vote for this, I do have sympathy for you. But you better be housing and taking care of these people the way that they should be housed and taken care of. And for those of you who don't, because there's an awful lot of you, sit in that shit.
We must talk about this. We have to talk about the status of the farmers. Yep, the farmers. That overwhelmingly, the white farmers that overwhelmingly voted for Trump. Now, the farmers are asking for welfare from the government because a lot of them are losing their farms because the subsidies that they get from the government, they can't afford the farms without the subsidies in many cases. And they're like, look, we need help. But here's the difference. When the black farmers asked for help, the white farmers filed a lawsuit. They filed a lawsuit against the black farmers for asking for assistance from the federal government. And they weren't able to receive the assistance from the government because of the white farmers filing the lawsuit. Question is, do you think farmers, white farmers, should receive the help, the same help that the black farmers had asked for, and they filed a lawsuit? Should the black farmers do the same thing and file a lawsuit? Get in the comments. Let me know.
Hold on. So let me get this straight. The white farmers in Louisiana, they're mad because people of color won't come work on their farms for $11 an hour in 100-degree heat for 10 plus hours a day. Let me run that back. White farmers are mad. The very farmers that voted Republican, okay, they voted for this, are mad that people of color won't come work on their farms for $11 an hour in 100-degree heat for 10 plus hours a day. I'm saying you get what you ask for. Hey, it's FAFO type shit, okay? But hey, don't be fooled. I feel like it's gonna come to a point where they're finna make people get on their farms. Don't count me to it. Because if 2025 was a checklist, hey.
Man, all I'm seeing is farmers in Arkansas, Nebraska. Why y'all crying? Shut up. This is what you voted for. This is what you asked for. He did it to you last time, and you didn't think he was going to do it to you this time. So now y'all want some help. Now y'all want them government subsidies. Now y'all want that government money. The same thing that you voted for not to happen, for people not to get government help. Now you got your hands stuck out. Don't work like that. You made this bed. all that racism, all that hate, the same people you wanted to go are the same people that work those farms. See, you let your racism get the best of you. Now, all I see is Arkansas farmers. Oh, I'm about to lose my farm. The government ain't doing this. The government, you voted for this shit. Now you just got to eat it. But meanwhile, you see my black farmers over there. My black farmers that ain't been getting that government help, that's been doing it on their own. They fine. They chilling. They thriving. So you might need to call some of them black people to get you some help. Oh, but you ain't gonna do that. You're not gonna do that. You gonna call Trump and them. But you know what? They not gonna answer. They not gonna help you, bro. So, just like they tell us, them bootstraps you've been talking about, I'm think you're gonna have to grab yours and get to work. We out.
So we've all heard that the job numbers came in, right? And only 22,000 jobs were added. And we all know Syphilitic Sid has said that maybe there won't be any numbers for at least 2, maybe 3 years until we can, get the numbers right. Whatever that means. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. Did y'all see them farmers in Arkansas who are now begging Syphilitic Sid to help them? They are asking for a bailout. And I don't understand if they don't understand that a bailout is basically welfare for farmers. Now, mind you, I got no issues with farmers, right? Because without them, we wouldn't have, cabbages, broccoli, whatever, vegetables, right? Right, green beans, vegetables, tomatoes, whatever. But the fact that...
Now, I've never been as worried as I am now about whether or not my kids and grandkids will be able to carry on.
He said, I love you, Mr. Trump. I need to see the fruit of your love.
5 of my customers have committed. That's how serious that this is.
And what it costs for us to farm is astronomical now.
I farm with paid-for equipment. All my tractors are 50 years old, and I can't hardly make this deal work. I think the tariffs are the ice cream on the cake of a perfect storm.
After a horrible year last year where most farmers in Arkansas Delta lost money, this year's going to be worse.
We made a decision to go out this year in the spring. So my son will not be the 7th generation on our farm.
We're going to lose 25 or 30% of the farmers in this country if they don't do something. It has to be done, and it's not just here. It's everywhere.
So guys, welcome back. Now, let's talk about the fall of the untouchable farmers. If I say that, you understand that I'm talking about the white farmers. Okay? For decades, white farmers had all the advantages. Access to land, access to loans, and the subsidy. They were protected by the government programs and agricultural policies. Meanwhile, the black farmers were denied and destroyed by the same system of discrimination. But now, you can see the tables are turning because of the rising fuel prices and destroying profits, severe droughts that are killing crops, trade deals are collapsing, having farms without buyers. And families that once mocked others for depending on the government aids are now begging for the same help from the government. The same system they defended is now ignoring them. And here we can see that the desperation pride meets the reality. Farmers are crying out on social media, calling for urgent help. Many say that they can't pay workers, even buy seeds, or feed their families. Some are begging for bailouts, saying they have been abandoned. And the irony is, when black farmers went through the same struggle, they were told to work harder. And now, those same words are coming back to haunt them because tables have turned, and this time, sympathy isn't coming. And here we can see that the double standard has been exposed. When minority farmers struggled, no one cared. no one even heard their cries. But when white farmers face the same hardship, it's suddenly a national crisis. You see, the media that ignored years of injustice is now showing tears and tragedy from the same people that once benefited from them. America is seeing its own hypocrisy this time round. A country that once showed empathy when the victims look familiar, the same broken system that once protected them is devouring them too. And here's the awakening and bitter reality check. Some white farmers are finally admitting that they never thought it would happen to them. But you can see it did. And now they are feeling what others felt for decades. And the truth is, no one is safe. No one is safe. When greed controls the system, no one is immune when the economy collapses. Okay? The pain that black and brown farmers once carried for generations is now cycling back. It is bitter, painful awakening for those who thought they'd always been protected by the same system. So maybe this is the wake-up call that America needed. Struggle has no color, and justice can't belong to just one group. Because the same system that ignored other people's pain is now ignoring its own loyal supporters. And white farmers rage, cry, and beg for help. The rest of America is watching in silence. The minority are now watching in silence, remembering the years they have always been ignored. This time, the world isn't rushing to help because they know how it feels. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. And of course, if you love this video, if you love our channel, please subscribe and leave us a comment in the comment section, guys. And please join our membership for more and more videos like this.